No, 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 no more locomotion. No, no, no more dancing in the street. No, 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 no more mashed potato. No, 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 no shuffling of the feet. So, today being the 16th, is it? Yes. 16th of October, 2017. And it's 30 years since the big October storm when Michael Fish said, there's a lady rang up and she said there's a hurricane coming, but there isn't. And you know, he's obviously made to eat those words on a daily basis, I would imagine. But there is a storm coming, and it's already, as far as I can not guess, as far as I can make out, it's already a devastating island, and it's actually killed a lady in a car. So, batten down the hatches, which I actually have been doing. I've been up on the roof, making sure that, making doubly sure actually that it won't blow off, because I did put this up in a little bit of a hurry, I have to say, and many times I think, oh, I'll you know, when I get a bit of time, I'll just do that properly. I'll just put it up there now, and it'll be fine for now, and I'll get back to it. Well, I got back to it just now, and maybe I put maybe 6 or 7 screws in with silicone and washers and all that, just to make sure it didn't leak, and tied down my well, secured, should I say, my solar panel, which was definitely flapping about a bit. Can't have that. So I feel pretty secure now that it can blow and blow and blow all it likes. But you know, pride comes before a fall and all that. I'm aware of that, and I don't. Well, I'll just say a little prayer, maybe, which isn't uncommon for me now. I do often just talk to whomever, and whatever, because I think I always have, really. Always known as something. Maybe it was my upbringing, yes, where they are that sure, that certain, the people around you in you know, your chapel, that if you put your hand up and say, please sir, is there any proof? Can you give me some proof? Just give me some proof. But no, I didn't ever do that. I often challenged a few things in the Sunday school, because I was I wouldn't say I was naughty, just a little bit. Um, well, who knows what they might have said about me, but I think I was just applying common sense yet again, because I don't think Christianity is a thing at all. I think it's, well, it is a thing. I mean, as in it exists, but I don't think there's any basis of truth behind it. I don't really think so. I mean, there's that many pieces of the cross being sold to people, pieces of the original cross, that it would, I don't know, they probably deforested a continent to come up with the pieces of the cross. And I think, anyway, this is my theory, that Christianity came about when the Roman Empire was, well, said to have fallen, which it didn't really. They just passed the power on to the Vatican, and Christianity was the new in vogue must be seen worshipping religion. And of course, there's nothing new about virgin births or dying on a cross or being risen from the dead. If you look back in previous history, religions had those things before. Zoroastrian certainly did. And it wasn't a wonderful new phenomena. And guess what? The Roman Empire's hold on the plane was vast, but Christianity is just, it's far, far more wide-reaching, and I think it has more control. Well, it certainly did have 50 years ago. And well, Christopher Columbus. Now, I think it was his second in command. I can't remember his name, but if you get a chance to read his journal, you will cry, because there's only one thing to do. There's only one way that moves you, and it's to tears. The atrocities that they committed. Christopher Columbus himself. They have a Columbus Day in America. Well, okay, now it's like having a Hitler Day in Germany, or a Stalin Day. Probably do have a Stalin Day in Russia. Probably not anymore. But this guy was a monster. I think Churchill was a monster, but not as big of a monster as this Columbus fella. And he's part of the problem anyway. This is part of the global bollocks. As Christopher Columbus saw the ships going over the curve. No, he fucking didn't. No, he didn't. He was a murdering, rapist bastard. And he did that in the name of Jesus, of Christianity, of fucking sickening bastard. So no, I'm afraid I'm not a fan of any religion, but certainly not Christianity. I think you don't need a man in a dress and a funny hat to tell you how to be spiritual. You can sort that out for yourself. You kind of, even though I haven't been to a Christian service that hasn't been a wedding or a funeral, in other words, by choice, for decades, that doesn't mean to say I'm not a spiritual person, or I know you'll hear religious, Christians on the maybe cardinals or whatever they call themselves in the hierarchy. They'll say, oh, you'll often say, people, I'm not religious, but I'm a spiritual. Yes, I've just said that. And these people say, but you see, they all know that God. No, not God. Not your God. Not a God that you've made to allow you to commit other atrocities, because they just, if God's benign, well, yes, okay, we've got free will, but the free will is given to you. You don't commit atrocities in somebody else's name. You've done them, you motherfuckers. Nobody else has done them. You've done them. You can't say, oh, well, Jesus told me to do it. No, he didn't. Jesus didn't tell you to rape those children or murder countless people because they don't believe in Jesus. That's just criminal beyond well, my grip of anything. I hate cruelty of any type. Cruelty to animals or people, it doesn't make any difference to me. It's all horrible, torturous, just awful. Christopher Columbus, he didn't even discover America. And dear me, he of course he landed in the Indies, West Indies, and said, "Look, I've sailed around the world." Well, you can sail around a huge dinner plate, can't you? So if a dinner plate had the outside circumference of 60,000 miles, like more or less the Earth has, I would think 60 or 70,000 miles around the outside perimeter, ice wall, whatever you like, ice shore, I think is the best description. It's a massive, massive place, and you can sail around it, can't you? Just think about it, sail round. Because as you're sailing east, you would have to, if you're going around the world, you would have to keep sort of nudging your rudder southwards. Otherwise, you'd just end up veering off to the north. And funnily enough, if it were a globe, you'd have to do the same thing. So what a load of cobblers about, oh, you can't sail. Yes, of course you can sail around a flat disc if it's big enough. Like, I don't want to have this argument. Water does not cling to a spinning ball. It doesn't curve. Water is level. Fluid dynamics. Have a read. The Earth is not a spinning ball. Today I actually filmed the sun without a filter, without any filter on my lens. It was so there was so much water between me and the sun, and that's all it was, water, of course. But it wasn't like a big thick cloud. It was a very evenly distributed, from my point of view anyway, vapor, water vapor, and it meant that I could film it, and by God, I'll show you that it's the same size as the moon. You know that anyway. And of course it was on the same path as the moon. It wasn't over there. It wasn't over there. It was over there, where the sun and the moon always travel. So that was quite exciting for me. I was, in the field. I was digging actually, and I just thought. I just looked up at the sun. I thought, wow, and I ran to get the camera, and so there you go. And I'll post it. I don't know when. Maybe even tomorrow if I get a chance. Because I'm gonna finish a job tomorrow. So if it goes well, I'll have a bit of time hopefully, and I'll go to my mother's and put this on, and the previous one, and I might take my camera if I remember. I've got a lot to take tomorrow. Take my camera and well, let you see what I did. It's not very exciting, but well, I think it's not very often that you can. Well, you'll see it, but it's not very often that you can film the sun with no lens, just relying on the water in the atmosphere. Somebody's asked me a while ago. Somebody asked me, well, if the Earth's flat, he didn't actually say that, like that in that voice, but I'm taking the piss out of him, of course, and I shouldn't be doing really. But he said, if the Earth's flat, why can't you see the bottom of the White Cliffs of Dover from Calais? And I said, because of the channel. The sea in the channel is very choppy, and it chucks up loads of water vapor, and you can't see it because of that. So the sun is the same thing, lots of water vapor. You could never see, but there's loads of water vapor. Guess what? I could film it today because of that. Same thing.